Hello, and welcome to another edition of Historical Theology with Jesse Heath. Today is October 31st. Happy Reformation Day. Now, while most of us know it as Halloween, see my separate video on All Hallows Eve, All Saints Day, and All Souls Day, many Christians around the world celebrate today as Reformation Day or the Protestant Reformation Day. Now, what is the Protestant Reformation? Why do we celebrate Reformation Day on October 31st? Well, it all started with a man by the name of Martin Luther. Now, Martin Luther was a German monk, theologian, and priest in the Roman Catholic Church. Now, he initiated the Protestant Reformation in the 16th century. Now, Martin Luther had been born in Eisleben, Saxony on November 10th, 1483, and he died in the same town on February 18th, 1546. Luther was ordained to the priesthood in 1507 and began teaching theology at the University of Wittenberg in 1511. Now, on October 31st, 1517, Luther published his 95 Theses, a document in which he challenged the Roman Catholic Church's practice of selling indulgences by nailing the 95 Theses to the doors on the castle church there in Wittenberg. Now, why did he choose that particular date to nail the 95 Theses to the doors of the castle church? Well, it had to do with the fact that it was All Hallows Eve. Hallows Eve, or Holy Ones, or the Saints, is a celebration, a feast day. It's in the Roman Catholic Church at that time, and in many Anglican and Lutheran churches today, in which the church remembers and celebrates the lives of those who have gone on before us, all of our friends and families who have died in the faith, what the church has historically called saints. Now, Roman Catholicism has historically taught that the souls that, for whatever reason, cannot immediately go into the presence of God in eternity, maybe they still have some kind of sin that they haven't dealt with on their souls, or they have something holding them back from entering into the presence of God, some kind of issue. Roman Catholicism teaches that they go to purgatory. Now, indulgences were pardons that could be sold and purchased to reduce one's time in purgatory. It was something that was kind of thought up as a way to raise money. And so in the Roman Catholic Church in the 16th century, when the money from those sales was gathered up, they were sent to Pope Leo X in Rome. And in Martin Luther's case, a portion of it also went to Archbishop Albrecht in Mainz, Germany, and the German priest, Johann Tetzel, in charge of selling the indulgences in Germany, he would get a cut of it as well. Now, Martin Luther argued that indulgences were a form of simony, or the practice of buying and selling spiritual good, services, or an office. So, for example, if you wanted to be the archbishop of a certain region, you could buy that post by giving a certain amount of money instead of actually being qualified for that role. So, this practice was extended even to the idea of purgatory. If someone's loved one was thought to be in purgatory, you could spring them out of purgatory by basically buying an indulgence from the church. Now, the 95 Theses quickly spread throughout Europe and sparked a heated debate about the Roman Catholic Church's teachings and practices. Now, originally, when Luther posted this, he posted this on the doors of the castle church as a way of sparking academic debate. In fact, he had written a letter sending it to Archbishop Albrecht to kind of prepare the archbishop for the upcoming proposed debate that Martin Luther was trying to trigger. It was written in Latin, which at that time only church leaders and academics could read. However, someone took down the indulgences and translated them from Latin into German, and they were passed around throughout the Holy Roman Empire at that time. Now, unfortunately, a copy of this also makes its way not only to Archbishop Albrecht, but to Pope Leo X. Now, Luther is summoned to Rome to defend his views, but he refuses to go. And so in 1521, Pope Leo X excommunicates Luther, which means that he was expelled basically from the Roman Catholic Church. Now, despite this threat of excommunication, Luther continued to teach and write on what he believed was true biblical Christian theology. He published a number of important works, including On the Freedom of a Christian in 1520 and Bondage of the Will in 1525. In these works, Luther outlined his theological beliefs, which eventually became known as Lutheranism. Luther's teachings quickly gained a following throughout Europe. His followers, known as Protestants, because they were protesting against the abuses and false teachings of the Roman Catholic Church at that time, challenged many of the Roman Catholic Church's traditional teachings and practices. The Protestant Reformation led to the establishment of new Protestant churches, such as the Lutheran Church, the Reformed Church, and the Anglican Church as we know it today, otherwise known as the Church of England. Now, Reformation Day is celebrated on October 31st, the day on which Martin Luther is said to have nailed his 95 Theses to the door at the Castle Church in Wittenberg. Reformation Day is a time to remember the Protestant Reformation and its impact on Christianity and the world. Celebrating Reformation Day is important for a number of reasons. First, it's a reminder of the importance of religious freedom and the right to private judgment. Luther challenged the authority of the Catholic Church at that time and asserted the right of individuals to interpret the Bible for themselves. This principle of religious freedom is a cornerstone of modern religious freedom and even modern democracy. Second, Reformation Day is a time to celebrate the rich diversity of Protestantism. Protestantism is not a monolithic movement, but rather a collection of different denominations with their own unique beliefs and practices. Celebrating Reformation Day is a reminder of the richness and diversity of the Christian faith. Finally, Reformation Day is a time to reflect upon the Protestant Reformation's impact upon the world. The Protestant Reformation led to a number of important changes, including the rise of capitalism, the spread of education, and the advancement of even science and technology. Celebrating Reformation Day is a reminder of the Reformation's enduring legacy. Luther was a seminal figure in the history of Christianity, and his teachings and writings sparked the Protestant Reformation, which had a profound impact on Europe and the world. Let's take time to remember Luther and the Reformation and celebrate their legacy.